Okay, here we go with part 2 then of our discussion on public relations. So I did talk about the AIDA formula in the first part: attention, interest, desire, and action. And then I'm just trying to amplify a little bit about how PR and advertising are about the integrated marketing communication, or the messages from the organizations to its publics. And PR and advertising are part of the promotional mix. If you've been in a business class like economics or intro to business or business administration, they'll talk to you about the 4 P's of marketing. The 4 P's of marketing are the product. What is the product that we're going to sell? And sometimes it's a service, not a physical thing that you can hold in your hand, but say a plumber, may actually be just providing plumbing service or something. Price, how much are we going to charge for our product to make sure it's competitive? Place, where are we going to distribute it? Could be a physical place like a bricks and mortar building somewhere, or a storefront in a mall, or it could be a place on the internet at a certain URL or something. And then finally, promotion. So you got to have all 4, right? If you're going to be in business, if you're going to market a product or a service, you've got to have the product or service. You've probably got to get some money for it. You're going to have to let people know how to find you, either physically or on the internet. And then finally, you should probably promote. Tell people, I have this great product with these features and benefits at this price. Wouldn't you like that? So promotion consists of both the PR and the advertising part. And they're similar but different. Now, some of the things here I'm going to go through real quick because they're in your PowerPoint and in the textbook and you can read them for yourself. But there is no single public. There are many publics, both internal and external. Now, a lot of organizations are totally focused on external publics. And, excuse me, we also got to think about the internal publics, right? The people who work here. If I'm a big company, the people who work here are very important internal public because they have to believe in the product or service, and they got to do their jobs well so I have a decent quality product to sell, right, that doesn't break down. And sometimes employees will be out in the industry saying, oh, I hate my job, I hate that place. Well, that is not going to bode well, and those people tell other people and tell other people, and that could be a bad thing. So PR is a management function. This is sort of a wish statement on my part. It should be at the highest levels of management, and often it isn't in organizations. It's just, it's 3 or 4 levels down as a side department, but it should be at the highest levels because it is reputation management and also crisis management, as we'll see a little bit later. And so let's skip forward now. So we talked about PR being relationships, and it's honest and ethical. It's a little different in this day and age because of politics, and sometimes politics have political PR people, or we call them spokespersons, or there's a variety of names for them, but those people are not as wedded to the truth as we would like. They are trying to get votes. But in organizations, nonprofits, and things like that, we do feel like honest and ethical is an important part of that message. So, being honest and ethical is in your organization's best interests. You can lie. You can fool people. The old statement, you can fool some of the people all the time, but you can fool all of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all the time. I didn't say that very well, but you know the old saying, right? And that's really true. You could come out with an amazing ad or an amazing PR message and talk somebody into doing something, to buying your product. And then later they'd be like, well, this didn't work at all. And they'd be mad about it, right? So I don't think we want to be in that business, because then you'll never get them back. If you lose them because you tricked them, you're never going to get them back. So the only thing a good PR practitioner has is its good name and reputation. So never compromise that for your company or your boss. I know I've got some beeping on the other camera, but I'll just continue on. Oops, now it's really going to beep. Quiet down there. I got 2 cameras rolling, so that's why we've got that noise. And the last line here, the activities of a few unscrupulous PR people can really bring the good name of the business and the reputation of all PR professionals down. So it's in our best interest if we go out into the world and get PR jobs to treat our customers or target publics with honest, ethical communication. Okay, so this is not in the textbook, but I think this is important. Propaganda versus persuasion. I have talked about this in some of my upper division classes as well. And this is the way I think about it. Propaganda is one-sided, often non-factual information to try to change a person's mind or behavior. So, which means we may lie to them. We might say this product is so good and it will fix everything. We might say if you use this glue in the bottom of your boat, you can float out on the ocean and you won't sink. And you might be lying to people. So I could relate that to propaganda. Persuasion is factual information designed to change a person's mind and promote a desired behavior. Factual information, I have a product with the following features and benefits and I'll trade it to you for $10 or whatever. And then people will say, well, I think that's a good deal. And at the end, both parties feel like they got a good deal. The person making the purchase says, I got $10 worth of stuff. I'm happy. And the person selling the product says, I got $10 for this thing that I made. You know, it cost me $6 and a little labor, so I made a little profit. But it's sort of a barter relationship. You want people to be happy on both sides. Now, our book will go into a lot about the development of PR as an industry. It starts with press agentry, and it'll talk a little bit about P.T. Barnum and propaganda, so read that. And it'll talk about some of the founders of PR. And be sure you read that. As you know, in a lot of categories, it's like, well, who invented it? And we said, well, we don't know who invented movies, who invented the telephone, who invented television, well, who invented PR? A couple different people. Some people say P.T. Barnum was a great PR guy. Well, I say he was a propagandist. He was tricking people into giving him money. So I don't think that's PR. Some people say Ivy Ledbetter Lee is the father of public relations, or they'll say the father of modern public relations. Because Ivy Ledbetter Lee did understand the value, the importance of telling the truth and having an emotional appeal, but a logical bond with his target audiences. And then some will say Edward Bernays was the father of modern public relations because he was the first guy to tie in data, actual measurement, using scientific research, polls, and other kinds of research like product sales information. After we put this message out, our sales went up by 3%. So this was important because in the days of Ivy Ledbetter Lee and before that, it was sort of what I call spray and pray PR. We'll just spray the message out and hope people take it and hope people buy our product. And what Edward Bernays says is, let's measure. Let's first of all ask people what they think. That's two-way communication. We'll say some stuff and we'll ask people if they liked what we said and believed it, and did it change their behavior, and then let's get some actual numbers and measure that. Not just anecdotal, yeah, I liked what you said, but of the 100 people we interviewed, 82% said, we like that. Now that's actionable information. So some people will say Edward Bernays. I think the industry will say Ivy Ledbetter Lee was the founder of modern public relations, meaning developing goodwill and being honest and ethical with your publics. And then Edward Bernays kind of took it to another level with the research. And now, in most recent, since the 1980s and now through the age of the internet, we have what we call asymmetrical two-way communication. Well, in the 1980s, excuse me, so got a little tickle in my throat. In the 1980s, it was two-way symmetrical, meaning we'd send the message out and we'd get the messages back in, so fairly symmetrical. But then, since the advent of the internet and the World Wide Web and the way we communicate now, it's asymmetrical, right? I can put a message out on Monday, I'll hear back from some people right away Monday afternoon, but I'll hear from some people on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, even 6 months from now, you find something on the internet and you'll send a message back. So it's quite a bit more asymmetrical now. Doesn't mean it works less well, but it just takes a little longer to gather that data. Okay, so that's enough for our second lecture, and we'll pick this up in the third clip on your webpage, I guess.